I took my dad to the F1 exhibition. Let's get into it. Welcome back to On Track GP, I'm Jamie Chambers, and today something a little different. I was lucky enough to have been bought tickets by my wife to go to the F1 exhibition at the ExCeL Centre in London. My dad was the perfect +1 for this awesome experience, and I'll tell you guys all about it. But please do remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, as it really does help the channel. So walking up to London's ExCeL Centre, we weren't sure what to expect from the Formula 1 exhibition. As someone who's followed the sport for decades, we wondered if it could capture the essence of what makes Formula 1 so enjoyable. What we discovered inside was probably the most comprehensive journey through 74, now 75, years of motorsport evolution that exceeded mine and my dad's expectations. So I brought my dad to the Formula 1 experience at the ExCeL. We've only just come in, but it's pretty awesome already, and we're about to go into the first area. On track, on track, on track, we're not holding back. As we entered the exhibition space, we were immediately struck by the scale of what lay ahead. The entrance featured sleek designs and Formula 1 branding, and that set the tone for what was to come. On track, on track, on track, we're not holding back, racing to the edge and beyond. On track, we're not holding back, victory's the budge upon. The exhibition began logically at Formula 1's origins. We saw that while the official World Championship started in 1950 at Silverstone, the foundations were laid in the Grand Prix racing of decades prior. Standing before Giuseppe Farina's Alfa Romeo 158, the first championship winning car, we gained a new appreciation for how far the sport has come. My dad's already found the Ferrari 156. So they've got the 5 eras of Grand Prix racing, which is amazing. It goes back to like 1887, all the way through to the modern day. There's also Mika Häkkinen's car here, and Enzo Ferrari's at the far end, and might be a sneaky Williams as well. The timeline along the walls tracked the evolution of regulations and technical innovations that shaped each era. So showing the key eras, so we've got 1946 to, in fact we go back further to 1880 to 1945, then 1946 to 1965, then 66 to 80, 81 to 95, and then 96 to 2016, and then we're in our current era now. But some amazing stuff like Bernie Eccleston, Max Mosley, Ron Dennis, so many stories. Moving through the decades, we saw the sport's technical evolution firsthand. The front engine cars of the 1950s gave way to the rear engine revolution that Cooper introduced in 1958. So this is the Mark 1 BRM Buck, and you don't really associate Formula 1 with wood, but there you go. I was particularly fascinated by Juan Manuel Fangio's varied championship cars, which demonstrated how the 5-time world champion adapted to different machinery throughout his career from 1951 to 1957. I didn't actually expect there to be quite so much Lotus here, which is amazing. What struck me was how British engineering came to dominate in the 1960s. Seeing Colin Chapman's revolutionary Lotus design showed us just why he was considered one of motorsport's greatest innovators. Good. The monocoque chassis construction he pioneered completely changed how Formula 1 cars were built. I struggled to get my dad to move on from this one. In the design lab now, and possibly my favourite Formula 1 car, the RB16B. Yeah, what an amazing bit of kit. We've also got the monocoques, which this tech alone is absolutely incredible. So much geeking out to be done, and there's my dad. The Design Lab section provided insights into the engineering principles that define modern Formula 1. I was blown away to read that a contemporary F1 car consists of 14,500 individual parts, with teams rebuilding around 80% of the car between races. So we've got a wind tunnel model here. The size is astonishing. Obviously, we've got various parts, even down to like diffuser, barge boards, halo, all being tested in the wind tunnel. Quite incredible. The display showing how aerodynamics evolved from the crude wings of the late 1960s to today's sophisticated systems gave a decent understanding as to why modern cars look the way they do. So a favourite of mine is, and of my dad's funny enough, is the Lotus 49, and if you look here, the way they got around the design, and this is back in 1967, right, is that you sat between the fuel tanks, so there and there, and then you just sat between them. That's like the evolution of the McLaren front wing, isn't it? To give you the size. Look how big it is. Standing before the Lotus 72 with its distinctive wedge-shaped profile and its side-mounted radiators, we could see how one design from 1970 influenced Formula One aesthetics for years to come. The exhibition did an excellent job explaining how power units generating over 1,000 horsepower while weighing just 150 kilograms represent some of the most efficient engines ever created. There's actually a Mercedes AMG power unit here, and this is from 2019. It's less than 50 centimeters long, which is insane, but it does 15,000 revolutions per minute. How insane is that? I hadn't appreciated how crucial tyre technology is to Formula One until seeing the dedicated display. Learning that Pirelli manufactures about 1,800 tyres for each race weekend across compounds ranging from C1, their hardest, to C5, their softest, gave me perspective on this often overlooked aspect of the sport. The interactive display showing how tyre strategy can determine race outcomes was particularly enlightening. You don't really get a fair idea of it when you watch it on TV, but this is the size of the P0 tyre. So this is the full red, and just the down line into the wet tyres at the far end. But yeah, they're massive. The human story of Formula One came alive through the displays of driver equipment and personal items. Standing before the helmet collection, we realised how safety standards have evolved alongside performance.
On track, we're not holding back, racing to the edge and beyond. On track, we're not holding back, victory's the bond, the bond. On track, the only way to go. On track, where legends are born to grow. On track, we're not holding back, racing to the edge and beyond. On track, we're not holding back, victory's the bond.
The statistics about physical demands of drivers were eye-opening, experiencing up to 6G of lateral force in corners and losing approximately 3 kilos during a single race through sweating underscored the athletic requirements of F1. The exhibition has done a remarkable job documenting all 34 world champions since 1950.
On track, we're not holding back, racing to the edge and beyond. On track, we're not holding back, victory's the bond.
Seeing Lewis Hamilton's and Michael Schumacher's record-setting equipment side by side, each representing 7 world championships each, created a powerful connection between different eras of Formula One. But nothing really prepared me for seeing these legendary cars in person. The 1978 Lotus 79 that perfected ground effect aerodynamics looked deceptively simple despite its revolutionary underbody design that literally sucked the car to the track. Standing next to Senna and Prost's 1988 McLaren MP44, which won 15 of 16 races, I felt I was in the presence of motorsport royalty. So speaking of the iconic cars, let's have a quick overview of the cars that were on show. The Lotus 72, 1970 to 1975. The revolutionary wedge-shaped design with side-mounted radiators and inboard brakes that competed successfully for 6 seasons, securing 20 victories and 5 championships. Its exceptional handling made it a favourite among drivers Rind, Fittipaldi and Peterson, while its iconic black and gold John Player special livery became one of the most iconic and recognisable schemes in the sport. The shark-nosed Ferrari 156, 1961 to 1962. Named for its distinctive twin intake nose, this 120-degree V6 powered Ferrari dominated the 1961 season after F1 reduced engine capacity to 1.5 litres. It helped Phil Hill become the first American F1 champion before Enzo Ferrari mysteriously ordered all examples destroyed after the 1962 season. McLaren MP414, 1999. Adrian Newey's creation featured a 780 horsepower Mercedes V10 engine and sophisticated aerodynamics that helped Mika Hakkinen secure his 2nd world championship. Despite securing 11 pole positions from 16 races, reliability issues cost McLaren the Constructors' Championship, which went to Ferrari by just 4 points. The Red Bull RB16B, 2021. This Honda-powered car ended Mercedes' 7-year dominance, securing 10 victories under Max Verstappen to win his controversial first World Championship at Abu Dhabi. Its innovative floor aerodynamics and refined suspension geometry maximised performance within regulatory constraints during the final year before F1's massive 2022 rule change. McLaren MP44 1988. The most dominant F1 car ever created, won 15 of 16 races and led 97% of all laps in 1988. We've got the MP44, which is Ayrton Senna's car from 1988, and he had a 93.8% win ratio, and it's just a beautiful car as well. Powered by Honda's Turbo V6 producing over 1,000 horsepower in qualifying, it carried Ayrton Senna to his first World Championship with 8 victories, while teammate Alain Prost claimed 7 wins. Mercedes AMG F1 W09 2018. This hybrid-powered machine produced over 1,000 horsepower while maintaining remarkable efficiency. Lewis Hamilton drove it to 11 victories after his 5th World Championship, while helping Mercedes secure their 5th consecutive Constructors' title. Its versatility across different circuit types proved decisive against strong Ferrari and Red Bull challenges. The Williams FW07C 1981. Patrick Head's ground effect masterpiece used underbody airflow and sliding skirts to create a vacuum that literally sucked the car onto the track. Despite using the commercial Cosworth DFV engine against Ferrari's bespoke 12-cylinder power units, it secured Williams' 2nd consecutive Constructors' Championship while narrowly missing the driver's title. The safety section was particularly moving, seeing the progression from an era when drivers' fatalities were tragically common, with 15 drivers dying in F1 events during the 1960s and 1970s, to today's significantly safer sport, told a story of lessons learned through sacrifice. The exhibition thoughtfully presented innovation like mandatory fire-resistant clothing in 1975, the HANS device in 2003, and the Halo cockpit protection system in 2018. The exhibition ends with a poignant and sobering moment as you stand before Romain Grosjean's charred chassis from the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix. Knowing he survived a 67G impact and intense fire because of these safety systems made the display particularly powerful. The accompanying information about how his crash led to further safety improvements, including redesigned fuel tank connections and enhanced fireproof clothing, demonstrated how far Formula One comes in continuously evolving. It's actually something that I never thought I'd be this close to, and it's Romain's monocoque. And it's a stark reminder of how dangerous Formula One is, but to be this close to a bit of racing history is amazing. There is so much comprehensive documentation of Formula One's geographic expansion. What began as a predominantly European championship has truly become a global sport phenomenon, with the 2023 season featuring 23 races across 5 continents and attracting over 4 million spectators. The visual representation of Formula One's growing popularity in new markets, particularly the United States with its 3 Grand Prix events in Miami, Austin and Las Vegas, definitely highlighted F1's growing cultural impact.
On track, we're not holding back. Racing to the edge and beyond. On track, we're not holding back. Victory's the bar.
One of the most enlightening sections showed how Formula One innovations have impacted wider society. We hadn't realised that during the COVID-19 pandemic, F1 teams utilised their rapid prototyping capabilities to develop and manufacture ventilators. Seeing examples of carbon fibre manufacturing techniques, energy recovery systems and data analytics methods that originated in F1 but now appear in everyday applications gave me a new perspective on the sport's relevance beyond entertainment. The exhibition concluded with a compelling look toward Formula One's future. The sport's commitment to becoming carbon neutral by 2030 and eventually transitioning to sustainable fuels showed forward thinking that genuinely surprised me. The 2050 concept cars, with their radical designs emphasizing efficiency and safety while maintaining competitive racing, presented an optimistic vision for the future of the sport. It was great to learn about initiatives like F1 in schools and the Hamilton Commission working to create pathways for underrepresented groups. The statistic that in 2023 only 10% of F1 team employees were women highlighted how much work remains to be done, but the exhibition presented this as a challenge the sport is actively addressing. Finally, we couldn't resist trying the simulator experience. While we knew we wouldn't match Lewis Hamilton's times, the authentic F1 team simulation software gave me newfound respect for the physical and mental demands drivers face. Taking Copse Corner at Silverstone at over 180 miles an hour in the simulator was challenging enough. I can't imagine doing it in reality with 19 other cars around me, though I'd definitely give it a try. That time has come. It's me versus Dad. Fastest lap of the F1 experience.
On track.
All right, we're in. That's already going. As we left the exhibition, we realised we'd experienced Formula One as a continuous evolution of technology, human skill and competitive spirit. From the comparatively simple machines of the 1950s to today's hybrid-powered technological masterpieces, the exhibition perfectly showed how the pursuit of competitive advantage has driven innovation across 7 decades. Whether you're a dedicated fan or someone that's just curious about F1 and motorsport in general, the Formula One exhibition provides essential context for understanding the sport as more than just racing. It's a laboratory for technology, a test of human capability, and a form of entertainment that continues to expand its influence and audience worldwide. If you're planning a visit, I'd recommend allowing at least 2 hours, we took 3, to fully appreciate everything on offer. So my dad loved it, that's the first thing, but definitely go to the Formula One exhibition. You're going to need way more than 90 minutes. It's seriously awesome, highly recommend it. Go see it while it's there. As always, remember to like, comment,